Literally no way to know. Oh my god, I think I am live. Whoa. Okay. I'm live, but no one's here? Is that the situation? Oh, someone's here. Hello. Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing this fine evening? Every time I do a live, I'm baffled by whether or not anyone can see me. But you know what? I think you can, and I think I'm here. And it's time to chat about whatever y'all want to chat about. Big week. I gotta get my booster seat because my chair is too low. It's the guy from The Thing. That's me. YouTube Live must hate you. It does. And what's funny is it didn't for a while. I liked doing YouTube Lives because they were easier than TikTok ones. Like, I was gaming and shit. You guys remember that? I played, like, Marvel Rivals. Now I can barely get OBS to work at all. It still shows 0 views on my OBS, which is just beautiful. But we're just... you're here. And so that is enough for me. How's everyone doing? Did everyone like the new videos this week? If you're on my Patreon, I have finally gotten to a point where it's truly a week early. And that means the world to me. So React 7 came out today. How's the TikTok pillow been? It's been wonderful, guys. It's been a lovely thing to own. I'm so happy I stole it. It's top 10 things I've ever stolen. My favorite thing I ever stole was a pitcher, like for water, from a fancy restaurant that I used as a water bottle for a long time until it was shattered. And then I got another one, and you'll never believe what happened. It was also shattered. And then my friend bought me one because they were the ones who had shattered the first one, but they didn't agree with stealing. So they bought me one, and eventually it shattered. And this is why you can't use glass pitchers for a water bottle. Fun fact. YouTube apparently absolutely crapping out for a lot of regular live streamers. I'm so confused why. I've had just issue after issue after issue recently. But this one's looking pretty good. I think we're chilling right now. Can't wait till you get time travel episode of Teen Titans. The amount of people mad at me for a thing that has not been fucking said yet. I'm gonna continue the Tim bit out of spite forever until I'm like sizably proven wrong. But it's going to have to be on a pretty inarguable level. What are you doing to these pictures? Me, nothing, actually. It's almost exclusively been friends of mine who break my pictures by knocking them off of a counter. My roommate in college broke one. So one of them I never even got to use. I stole it because my jacket pocket has a hole in it. So it's like this long overcoat, and you can put anything in it because it falls through the pocket and just into the coat. And that's how I stole one picture, by slipping it in through there. But then I didn't realize, and I lent a friend of mine my coat because they were cold as we walked home. And then they went to the restroom, and I don't know why they were still wearing the coat, or whatever was happening. But somehow they threw the coat on a hanger or something, and it fell out. And it smashed in the bathroom, which was sad. But second time, my college roommate knocked it off the counter and it shattered. And the third time, my fiance knocked it off of the counter and it shattered. I'm not responsible for any of it. But you know what? That's why you can't have nice things. Loki wish there was more Tim and stuff. Here's my thing, and this is the other reason I'm keeping up with the Tim thing. I feel like 90% of the people who are so adamant about it being Dick and are like, oh, it hurts me when he calls him Tim, don't care, actually. I think they just like Dick, and they think they like Dick because all of the things that they like about Robin, they assume are Dick. And I disagree. I think you all like Tim, and I'm going to call him Tim until, again, it's not Tim. Wait, as far as I know, Tim wasn't adopted by Bruce until after Identity Crisis, which came out after the episode where Robin is like, I have a father. Well, that also happened this episode, didn't it? So everything before that, I didn't see that line. That line is very Dick. That is one of the more Dicky things that have happened. And also, To be fair, calling him Tim saves me from having to say Dick so much, which is, I think, as a creator on the internet, a very worthwhile advantage. It's the Wally effect. It is, and we're fighting it off. Dick is just DC Spider-Man, though. That's what people like him. See, I'd say Robin is. And I feel like... And Nightwing, sure. Dick as Nightwing is one thing, but this guy's not anything like Dick as Nightwing. Did you know they put Red X into the comics, except they just pretend everything that happened in the show happened, except it doesn't add up in the comic time? That sounds like comic books to me. Real Dick stole Tim's whole shit in the early 2000s and just let him do it until he became Nightwing. Exactly. I need to somehow make the chat bigger. The one issue with getting a nicer monitor is, this is so inside baseball shit. I'm sorry that for everyone who tunes into these and hears me whine about tech for so long. However, the issue with getting a bigger monitor is that now everything's feasibly could be bigger, but in reality, everything's just smaller, if that makes sense, because the UI doesn't change. So this is still like 10-point font. It's just now tiny on the screen instead of taking up half the screen. And so now I just am staring at this, trying to read it. Red X is Jason. Again, as far as I've seen, Red X is Dick. Guys, is Dick the last popular character that gets away with being named Dick? Yes. In terms of could you make a new one today? No. It's him and Tracy. Those are the two Dicks that are locked in, grandfathered in from the old time. There's no new Dicks. Control and the plus button. If you just solved this for me, I'm going to be so happy. Yeah, that did nothing. That did absolutely nothing at all. Command plus button. Nothing at all. It's okay. I cherish that you tried. Is there a white Frankenstein mask behind you on that shelf? No, it's not a mask. It's like a bust. And yes, it is unpainted. I got that because originally I made a deal with my college roommate when I was a freshman that I wanted to decorate for Halloween. But I was like, how much would you want to put in for room decorations? And he was like, $5. And I was like, fine, whatever. We won't decorate for Halloween. But then I took his $5 and I bought that. And that was our sole decoration. There was like a contest happening. Also, it wasn't like in a vacuum. The whole hall or whatever was supposed to decorate, and you could win a prize. But I bought that. It was our sole thing. It was just with his $5. And anyway, my idea originally was to demolish it by throwing it off the roof after Halloween. And then I didn't do that. And then I thought, what could be more fun is if I painted it slowly throughout the years, and then I threw it off a roof when I graduate. And as you could tell, I didn't do that either. And now I just kind of have it still. And I've grown quite fond of him. So, yeah, I don't know. Will be demolished eventually. That's how time works. But I've also run out of roofs. There's something about like throwing something to destroy it off the roof when you're 18 that makes a lot of sense, and I think people would like hand wave. Doing it when you're 30 is harder. That's when the law gets involved, and they're like, you can't throw things off roofs. What is his name? His name is Frankie. It's not creative, but it's true. Control and scroll wheel. All right, we're going to keep trying these buttons you keep telling me to try. But I have to be clear. I have no faith in you. Nothing. Nothing at all. Nope. What are you watching after you finish Wolverine the X-Men? X-Men the anime, which I'm very excited about because I've never seen it. And I don't watch a ton of anime. I've seen like 4 animes. I've seen Death Note, the first season of Attack on Titan, Ouran High School Host Club, and Devilman Crybaby. That's my entire anime experience. I feel him staring at me. He is, and he's judging you too. I can't tell if you actually believe it's Tim Drake or just trying to keep calling him Tim. It's not even a bit. It's spite. Because here's the thing. It's either people informing me of spoilers and not understanding how a reaction series works, or people just aggressively assuming it has to be their favorite. And I don't. Either way doesn't factor into the process of reacting to a show. They have not given concrete evidence about who this Robin is at all, outside of his personality and his outfit and his weapon choice. All three of which evoke Tim. So I do not... And also, like, everyone's like, oh, it's Dick because of the personality? No, it's not. This isn't Dick's personality. He'd be so much chiller and, like, jokier. Like, this is an intense version of Robin. But anyway... The three characterizing factors all denote Tim. So I'm going to call him Tim until the show gives me a reason not to do that. Because that's how experiencing things for the first time works. I don't care if in, like, season 5 they give some sort of spoiler that which one it was supposed to be. That's not going to... That'll retroactively make me seem silly, maybe. But that's the journey we're all taking. Low-key, the concrete evidence really is just the hair gel. That's, okay. I could get behind it being the hair. Plot twist, Teen Titans Robin is a secret new Robin named Joey. It could be. Like, it truly... They could be like, oh, you know, this one is a different continuity, so our Robin's name is Gerald. And then that's just... Then what are you going to do? You going to yell at me about that one? They think it's Dick. It's so widely held that it's Dick. Even, spoilers aside, because that's the Robin most people know. And they're upset with me for denying it. And it's circular reasoning in their head. Because they're like, I know this Robin must be Dick. And he acts just like Dick. And I know how Dick acts because I watched this show where he was Dick. Like, that's... The character seems exactly like Dick Grayson to you because this is the basis you have of knowing Dick Grayson. I didn't grow up with this fucking show. I'm calling him the Robin he seems to be. Anyway, got a little too heated. We can dial it back a little. Drew. Young Justice when? Possibly after Teen Titans. We'll see if I have any fans left after I drag this Tim thing until the abyss. Can you rank the Titans? As of now, for me, I think it goes Raven, Starfire, Cyborg, Robin, Beast Boy. You make a very compelling argument. Thank you. Like with Teen Titans, it's funny how this Titan... Oh, sorry guys. I gotta get really close to the camera now. Are you sure it's not Carrie Kelly? I'm not positive it's not Carrie Kelly. This is why I refused to bring up the professor from Hulk vs. Wolverine coming back and Wolverine the X-Men when everyone was talking about Hulk vs. Wolverine X-Men being connected. Spoilers, people. Is that not just adapting the same character? I didn't even put that together, that he is technically in both shows. But that doesn't feel connected. Otherwise, what? Hulk vs. Wolverine takes place after? Because Wolverine kills that fucker. Unless, no, he just cuts off his arm? Does he have a fake arm in this one? If Hulk vs. Wolverine takes place after, that might make more sense, to be honest. That ranking was by popularity or power scaling? Oh, that was my just personal interest. Power scaling, I don't fucking know. I probably Starfire and then Raven. No, Raven still seems popular. It might be the same. It's probably Raven, Starfire, Beast Boy would be higher in power scaling. Cyborg, Robin. I think that makes sense. Beast Boy could potentially... I feel like... I don't know. I'm not a power scaler. But I don't know how it works when the character's just stupid. Like, Beast Boy could potentially do more shit. He's just dumb. And he picks animals seemingly for fun. It'd be cool if you watched an animated movie between the seasons of Teen Titans. 5 seasons is pretty long to watch it all in one row, but then again, to be fair, they're pretty short seasons. I am going to, we'll do a little break after each season. I'm going to actually film today a movie that's going to come out in 2 weeks. Because everything comes out early on Patreon. So it comes out next week on Patreon. But yeah, we're going to cut it up a little bit. I might watch the Teen Titans movie. Is that part of this lore? I've seen one where like Raven's dating Damian for some reason. Is that an interest anyone would have? The Robin dates Damian? movie. Oh, my computer is freaking out on me right now. I'm gonna need to restart this soon. No spoilers, but Beast Boy has a few really strong episodes coming up. I'm excited to see that. I think Beast Boy and Grayson are the two that are like the most underdeveloped so far. Trouble in Tokyo is a movie for this show. Oh, okay. Like at the end then, probably. I'll do that one at the end. If it goes at the end. Robin dates Damien movie. I meant Raven. Did I say Robin? My bad. Raven dates Damien. Yet again, I'm asking for Stack Shock just so, interested in me. All right. Good to know. Like I said, I don't know where we're going as like even a channel, honestly, post X-Men and Teen Titans. I think when I run out of X-Men shows, it's going to line up pretty well with Teen Titans ending. And then I'm going to be in a real identity crisis. I don't know what we're going to do. We'll be right around on time to get a stay of execution as 97 drops. But yeah, after that, I don't know, man. I really don't. Too many R-birds on this team. It is insane to have both Robin and Raven on one team. Like from like just a creation standpoint, that's wild to do. If I made a book right now and like Teen Titans didn't exist, and I made a book right now and I tried to give it to a publisher and I was like, yeah, the two main characters are Robin and Raven, they'd be like, that's too similar. Everyone gets one fucking first letter. It's part of a whole series of DC animated movies. I know, that's the series I saw. I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what this channel turns into, but I'm into it. Me neither, man. We're gonna figure it out when the time comes. That's why everyone's like, oh, would you react to this? Maybe. We'll have to see. Avengers EMH after X-Men shows, please. Maybe. I'd be down for like comic reviews. I'm newish to comics, and I'd love to know a vibe of Comic Run before committing. I want to do something like that. I don't think it would be a straight-up review, but I'd love to do some sort of thing like that. I need an editor. I need an editor, because something like that's going to take a long time, because I got to read the whole run. You think the birds are too much? The original Teen Titans team was red in some way? It's not bad. Starfire versus Marvel's Firestar. Who would win? Starfire. Starfire sneezes and things blow up. We're not talking the same level. I'd recommend reacting to Young Justice, but I had such an insufferable fall off. I've seen the first like half season of Young Justice, and I did like it. You're very entertaining, by the way. Thank you. I try so hard. I need also like better tech. I feel like I'm still so underused right now. It's just to be clear, I have my fancy wall. That's new, and I like it a lot. I'm filming on my phone. I got a new computer in October, and it's been delightful. But I used to just do it all off my laptop, connected it to my phone, and then this mic is propped up on a truly insane level of books. Because that's the way for it to reach my face. And sometimes I can do this and you don't notice. And sometimes it's like this and you do notice. But to get like a camera or a mic stand would just be delightful. You could try Umbrella Academy, just don't watch seasons 3 and 4. Dude, I was such a huge fan of Umbrella Academy. I loved that show, and they let me down so bad. This is my thing with Stranger Things. Everyone was like dooming about Stranger Things. Compared to what we could have got. Like, I can't be mad at Stranger Things finale for ending with all of them going off into the sunset and being happy when I've seen them turn into flowers, you know? I need you to buy a desk microphone. I am begging you. This is a desk microphone. The desk is just too low. See? That's not helpful to anyone. Actually, is it? Can you hear me? Hey, Nikhil, just wanted to say you're absolutely one of my favorites in the comic, YouTube, or TikTok space. Thank you so much. Also, thank you for continuing to count me in the comic space. I know I haven't actually made a video about comics, skit or otherwise, in a long time. I intend to get back to it. I just need to stop spending all my time editing. We can clearly hear... Wait, hold on. That changes things. Do I not need these books? Hold on. If I did a video like this, is this audible? Are we good with this? It seems so far away. Maybe I angle it more. If this works, then my life is easier at least. But it seems very silly because I like the mic's all the way down here. I don't need to be up here. No, it's too quiet. Ah! See, that's what I thought. Okay, everyone is having a different reaction to that. It's a little quieter but clear. Maybe a tiny bit echoey. We're good. You might need to boost it a little in post, but yeah, it's good. I still boost like so much in post. I have to like racket my mix up to like 15 times. I am bad at this job, guys, but it's okay because you are all very understanding people and I love you all. And I'm getting like slightly better, I think, time and time again. Okay, my computer's having a glitch. Yep. Whatever, decline. All right, sorry. One of my Premiere apps just didn't close, or Adobe apps just did not close, and it's quit, but it's like burned onto my screen now. The goal is to get Nikhil to like the Teen Titans enough to read Wolfman's comic run and officially make a video on DC's X-Men. I will do that. I'm bogged down right now because I want to read every X-Men comic in the 90s to get a video out before X-Men 97. It's like 1,200 comics. I don't know if I could pull it off while also doing all of this, but we will see. You're doing great, Nikhil. Thank you very much, Joshua Harris. Audio quality is better with the books. Thank you. Recommended your channel to a friend and she watched your Storm video and loved it. Aw, I'm very proud of that video. The Storm video, the Gambit videos, and the Beast videos are definitely like the kind of thing I want to make more of. I just need time. I want to make one for Rick Jones, and I want to make one for Rogue. Rick Jones would be long though. I'd be doing like a Sir Superhero beat. I'd have to be like, 2 hours long, but Rick Jones, everyone's favorite character. What's your favorite DC comic you have read? Long Halloween, and it's not close. Or actually, Absolute Martian Manhunter's up there too. So maybe it is close. This has basically become my favorite Marvel channel, not gonna lie. Aw, thank you. I have no idea about anything in comics, just hanging around for vibes. Yay! That's all you need. Dude, why are all of important X-Men comics from like the 80s to 90s? I truly cannot read the old comics art style. That's crazy to me because that's when they were pretty. I don't really love modern art in comics. It's too plasticky. Back in the day, they are, especially like the early 2000s. Ugh. The 90s gets a little much for me too. The 80s is just pure beauty, but that's how taste works. Sometimes everyone's got different ones. But yeah, I don't know. They're from the 80s and 90s because that's when the stories were good, unfortunately. I still want to see Nikhil review Batman Ninja. If only reference the Ninja Turtles joke from his Addams Family series, either that or the Batman TMNT one. That's fun. I'm very intrigued by how that fits together. I admittedly haven't watched too much of your X-Men deep dives because I'm reading X-Men and don't want spoilers. Very fair. But I'll watch them eventually once I get further. Well, thank you very much. Have you read Immortal Hulk? I have, and it's wonderful. Do you know why I've read Immortal Hulk? This is why also. Like, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and it's why the videos take too long. You remember when I did the Pride series, and it took me like 2 months, and I finished it like August, despite it supposed to be coming out every week in June? Part of that is because I read the entirety of Immortal Hulk, all 50 issues, so that I could talk about Charlene McGowan for like 4 sentences in the trans video. So, yeah. This is why. This is my thing is I don't want to like. I, as just a person, don't want my content to be me essentially reading out the Wikipedia of characters. And in the comic space, that's a lot of what it is, right? Is you have to be like, there's only so much information in the world. And so if you're going to make a video that's like breaking down a character, you're basically reading their history. But I don't want to literally be reading the wiki out loud, so I have to make it myself. So I have to read all of the books. And that takes a long time. Nikhil, name your favorite comic book superhero not from Marvel or DC. Do I read non-Big Two superhero comics? I've danced around indie a bit in like Image and stuff, but they're usually superhero. And I don't want to say Invincible because that feels like a cop out. Definitely not fucking Darkman, or was it Nightman? The one that's rip off Batman. Sandman's DC. Oh, the Turtles. Those are technically different. They count as superheroes. TMNT. Sometimes you just gotta read the wiki and roll with it. Yeah, I mean, in real life, sure. But in terms of making content, I've never read Spawn, unfortunately. Do characters that got absorbed in later count? Because if so, Static Shock for me. Well, I was assuming so. Otherwise, Watchmen is like anyone from Watchmen. Dr. Manhattan is definitely up there. Rorschach. Ooh. Do the G.I. Joes count? Them, maybe. Cobra Commander's got a really good book over there. He's a villain. I like villains. But like, you should read some of the Massive Verse. I recommend Radiant Black or Rogue Sun. I want to read Radiant Black. That's been on my list for years. You like villains that do theme parks? Thoughts on Eggman from Sonic? Theoretically, love Eggman. You know my thing about being like too obsessed with Marvel to watch DC as a kid? I had a similar thing with Nintendo. So I don't know a ton about Sonic, but theoretically, big fan of Eggman. React TMNT 2012. Oh, here, this is a good question. What do we have? 150 people in here. First of all, hi. Second of all, 2 questions for general stuff. 1, how do you feel about the fact that I'm constantly looking at the side? Is that off-putting? Should I look more at my camera? Number 2, hypothetically, if I was to make a React series to a Spider-Man property, what name would you think? Right now, the one I'm working with is ReactTT, which is like, it sounds good. I think it would look confusing on a video. But ReactTT is clever, I think. The other option is to do Reacts, but like make the S big. I don't know. I'm also like, I don't know how long I can keep this bit up. I think eventually it's just everything's going to have to be Reacts with a bit like the X. And that's just going to be the name of my thing. But yeah. ReactTT is great. Okay. Spy review. See, this was there's not a lot of. I guess it could be an adjective. I wouldn't do spectacular. It would have to be like amazing or something. React Man. I kind of like that. ReactTT is good. Also, the best Spider-Man was ironically the 90s series and then Spectacular Spider-Man. I love the show, but it does suck that no one thinks of OG Titans. They think of Teen Titans anymore. Yeah. Like, I can see why that is unfortunate. It was nice to get the Garth episode. I'm hoping we get to see Wally and Wonder Girl. Rearax? Webhead Watches? I don't want it to be 2. I don't know. I'm bad with names. That's okay. I'm farming you guys for content right now. I do like ReactTT. Okay, I'm digging that people seem to be reactive, like radioactive. I kind of like that. Spider reaction. I thought of that one too. That one looks better spelled out. It's stupider to say. Honestly, kind of nice for my artistic self to not have this staring at me intensely. Okay. Interesting. Good to know. Makes lives easier. I've been trying to figure out a way to get this camera setup to work with my computer. I hate that nobody thinks of the Titans that came out after this series. I didn't realize they have a different team. I didn't realize DC does that, really. Reactive does sound cool. Reactingle. Haha. Forever grieving my Wonder Twins. The Wonder Twins. You're being funny. Because the Wonder Twins are not Teen Titans. Surely. They're Justice League. Nikhil, Google how old JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is compared to the series like One Piece. It's a very specific objective or directive right now. But sure. I haven't worked this into my OBS right now, so you're just going to have to trust me. What are the two shows I'm supposed to do? One was One Piece. What was the other one? Most of the internet straight at two screens, even with face cam, only looking up at face cam for like the comedic stuff. You're going to need a separate React channel. What? No, I'm not. I hate the idea of having more than one channel. I know that people do that. I hate that. Like, just funnel it all here. It's just me. My goal is to have it be like shows, you know? Like have Reacts come out Mondays, Reacts spelled differently come out Fridays, have like video essays come out Wednesday, that kind of thing. And then you guys can handle it. You can figure it out. Also, I've forgotten what I was Googling, so apologies. JoJo, that's what it was. All right, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure release date. That's just what I'm typing. Also, I've never seen, what do you call it? My Hero Academia. So that might be on the list for future as well. It's just so goddamn long. It would take me like a year. JoJo's, whatever, blah, blah, blah. 1993 seems to be the answer. If we're good with that. It's honestly a lot earlier than I expected. How old is One Piece? Here, I got a better way to do this now. When did One Piece start? I'm narrating it because I know you can't see it. I just don't have the time. 1997! What? When did JoJo's start? 1987. So JoJo's is older. That was not made clear. I thought it was going to go the other way. Finished MHA very few days ago. Very emotional. One Piece is over 1,100 episodes. I know, it's too many. I wish I'd gotten into it as a kid. I'd be like caught up by now. Miraculous Reaction would be really funny. Like, it's starting to get good now, but it took 10 years, basically. Miraculous? Like Ladybug? Are they making that show still? I'm going to need that MHA React now. It's basically the concept of X-Men where they don't hate people having powers. This is what I've always heard. Like, I've heard that MHA is X-Men, and that's why it's kind of like the one I could do after X-Men, maybe, but it'd be a bit of a switch up. And it is so long. Let me see. I should just get this to work. Let's see here. Window capture. Hey, we got it. Okay. I still have to like leave you people while I go look at this, but you can at least follow along now. Because I have my OBS at full screen. Where was I doing? Oh yeah. How many episodes of MHA? 170 episodes. So if I did 2 a week, it would take me 85 weeks, which is about a year and a half, I think. A little over a year and a half of pure MHA content. Not pure. 1 a week, but still. That's insanity. Yeah. They do hate people with powers. That's like the entire plot of the last few seasons. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Well, you know what? Maybe they haven't gotten to the last few seasons. But anyway, I don't know if I want to make my channel a year and a half of My Hero Academia. So we'll see. This is the issue with reactions in general, is I feel like it's so easy to get bogged down, you know? Like even Teen Titans is going to take me 6 months, and I am a little cautious about that. It's like, from Evolution, I noticed that people fell off near the end. And I think that's just normal. Like once you get to like episode number 28, people are like, damn, that's a big investment. That one would be like episode number 102. Like it would get insane. It'd be like doing a rewatch podcast. Maybe I should do a rewatch podcast. I don't know. But I feel like having 2 shows going helps alleviate that a little bit. We will have to see. If I can get an editor and I can get to a place where I can make more content without spending all of my time on Premiere, I will have more, hopefully more diversity of shows, and then maybe we can do that too. Is the chat small in OBS? You just drag the edges or click zoom in. We will figure this out. I appreciate you continuing to try to help me. Dragging the edges simply makes the window bigger. The text stays the same size. Yeah, no. Oh, well, I just got rid of it all. Okay, I got it back. Actually, if you don't mind watching a Japanese dubbed anime, then you can watch Senki's... I'm not going to try and pronounce that, but I love you. 12 episodes per season for 5 seasons should work. That's about Teen Titans. Anime reactions are a nightmare if you don't hop in when it starts or you're catching up on 90+ episodes. Oh, for sure. Like, could you imagine if I tried to do One Piece? What is that? That would be 500 weeks? 10 years? I could react... Wait, that's actually kind of hilarious. I could react to 2 episodes of One Piece a week for 10 years. I'd be 35. I'd be looking down the barrel at 40 by the time I'm done with One Piece. If I started, like, now. I love almost seeing your screen reflected on glasses and the glass pane in the back. I hope you're not being sarcastic, because I'm very self-conscious about this. I love this wall. I do not love how it's taken the light. And I should have seen that coming, but I'm mad about it. I don't love that you could see that light, or the screen right there, or the screen of my glasses. I have very reflective glasses, and it upsets me. It's why on TikTok, I never filmed in them. But in YouTube, I gotta see the damn show, so I have to film in glasses. It's very weird for me to exist with glasses. I got glasses in 1st grade, and I hated them so much that I carried them around in a case, and I just wore them when, like, super necessary, which was not what you're supposed to do, at least not for me. And over the time, my vision got so bad because of that, that they were like, you gotta just wear glasses now. Like, the option is gone. You have to just wear them constantly forever. I tried contact lenses. I was, like, allergic to them. I have no idea what this is. I was, like, allergic to them and the solutions. And so they burned out my retinas. So I had to not wear contact lenses. I'm back to glasses. And for years, I would take them off to film TikToks. And I got huge headaches because I would, like, film for hours and not be able to see. But I tried to do it the first ever reaction video I made. And it was impossible. I could not see the show. So I don't know what the hell why I've said all that to you people, but, you know, I like sharing. Could you put some kind of thing on top of the glasses to stop the glare? I don't know. It's okay, because when I look, like, in the videos, I'm, like, small anyway, and no one's looking at me when the show's playing, so it's fine. And then I look at the camera, and you can't see the glasses, and that's very intentional, because I put the lights specifically to where you can't see the frame reflected. That I usually try to hide with my head in the YouTube videos. This is real inside baseball stuff now. I'm giving away all my secrets, but I usually try to hide that one with my head. I got nothing for that, and it angers me a lot. I gotta get like a thing, you know? If I get a thing, then I can get something that could block that one out, and that would be the dream. When I start making better money, and I do think I'm close, when I make better money, I'm gonna buy a one of those like really fancy X-Men figurines. You know what I'm talking about? With like they're fighting on the Sentinels. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And maybe that'll go there. Who is your favorite Batgirl? Vibes alone? Probably Cass. I haven't read a ton of Batgirl, to be honest. But I like Cass's vibes in every Batfam thing. If you're concerned with the reflection of the glass, they make odd reflective picture frames. I know this conceptually, but I also just bought all these frames. And I don't make that much money. I just got all this set up. I should have thought about looking into non-reflective earlier. It's also, I want to change my lighting setup. It looks good on my phone. It looked terrible on my camera I used to have. I'm hoping to get a new camera, new lights, new statue. It's just about saving up. Teen Titans did have their own New Mutants called Titans Academy, but it was handled badly. That's insane. They are the New Mutants. They're fucking children. I like the symmetry of the room. Thank you. I worked really hard on this wall. It is the single greatest devastation of my life, which is saying something. That I made this whole thing with the idea that I put the bookshelves on the far ends of the wall, right? And the idea was I'd get the whole thing in frame every time. And I didn't realize that it's physically impossible to get my camera far enough back for that to be achievable. This is my camera on my wall. This is as far as I could ever get in frame, which just is like kind of disheartening, but it is what it is. To fix chat size, go to stream on YouTube, click the 3 dot buttons, click pop out chat to open it as its own browser window, then control and shift plus. That's a lot, and I'm on OBS, and so we're just gonna stick with this. We're reading it, aren't I? Like, I'm doing fine. Fisheye lens time. I've thought about it. I genuinely considered it. Here's a fun random fact. I used to film my videos. I feel like you guys probably know. My video quality isn't always the best. And a lot of that has been me experimenting with lighting. And I think my camera's just broken. I have a camera that I dropped down the stairs 10 years ago. And I'm like attached to it for nostalgic reasons because I bought it. It was the first thing I bought with my paycheck when I got my first job. And it's only like $1,000, which is, a lot of money. But still, in terms of camera, it's not that high quality. And I got it. I meant to use it to shoot things because I was at film school, and I never did. And it makes me sad. And so I was like, I can finally use it for YouTube. And then it looked terrible because I dropped it down the stairs 10 years ago. So I think I need a new camera, and then maybe that'll change my life. But anyway, these lights never looked good on the old camera. They only look good on the phone. I have not noticed the quality of any of your videos. They always look fine to me. Well, that's wonderful to hear. Also, as someone who is going to NOLA for college for the first time, I wanted to start to read Gambit. Where would you suggest I start? Gambit's Volume 1 in 1993, I think, by Howard Mackey, or Gambit Volume 3 by Fabian Nicieza from 1999 will give you your best intro to Gambit. I like Volume 1. It's only 4 issues. It's very fun to me. It is older. If you're looking for a more like modernish version of Gambit, definitely go with 3. That one has the most Gambit stuff. Like almost anything everyone talks about Gambit comes from that series. Would you prefer comic adaptations to try and replicate iconic panels and moments one-to-one or adapt them for the medium? If possible, I like when they adapt the panels. That's not super necessary to me. I'd more rather if they adapted the stories. I've been a stories over art person my whole life, and I like the art of comics, but like, I like the storytelling a lot. Yeah. So the individual panels are cute, but like it could also just be Watchmen, where they clearly didn't understand Watchmen, but they just replicated the panels. I definitely see improvements in your content. Thank you. Especially when you re-upload older vids, you really see the improvement. Yeah. It's funny to splice the old vids sometimes into my YouTube again, and I'm like, oh yeah, that looks worse. I completely agree that Slade should be brought up more as one of fiction's biggest haters. Truly he should. He's insane. This man hates this 12-year-old so much. What do you think about the spoiler, Jordan the Titans in this March? I have no informed opinion about that whatsoever. Do you like edgier shows like Invincible? Yeah. I don't know if I'd call Invincible edgy, but yeah. I like The Boys, if that's what you're asking me. What's the artwork behind you on the wall? That's Kraven's Last Hunt. That's X-23 from X-Men Evolution. That's Gambit. And what was meant to be a point of pride, but is in fact too high. These are my little Funko figures. That's Toad from Evolution. That's Kraven's Last Hunt. That's Alien, just a cool poster for Alien. That's the script for Reservoir Dogs, signed by everyone in the movie. That's my invitation to the second Hellfire Gala, my YouTube plaque, my invitation to the third Hellfire Gala. Thank you to Marvel for sending me both of those. It means nothing. Like, it was the second one especially was a piece of paper. The third one they actually at least had in real life, and I got to go to that, and that was fun. The second one was a piece of paper letting me know I had been invited. But they mean the world to me, because technically I attended and was invited to 2 of the 3 Hellfire Galas, including the one where everyone died. And then this is some art I don't actually know. You can't really tell because the giant fucking glare, but it's like a bunch of sci-fi characters in a bar together. That's Wonder Woman, Hundreds of Beavers, one of my favorite movies poster, Spider-Man. This one is Tales of Wakanda, which is a show, honestly, I have not seen, but it is the only thing I will probably ever get from San Diego Comic-Con signed at the Disney booth, because I was at the Marvel booth, which is huge if you've never been to San Diego Comic-Con. It's like the centerpiece of the whole thing. This huge booth, there's always lines, everyone's there, but sometimes you're able to just go in and mill around, and I was milling around taking pictures of they had like outfits from Fantastic Four and shit there. And then suddenly, they were like, okay, we're going to start the line here, right in front of me, where I happened to be. And I was like, the line for what? And they were like, the signing. And I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about, but I was already in the front of the line. And then immediately, it became like 300 people behind me. And I was like, well, I guess I'm getting something signed. And so there was the director of Eyes of Wakanda signing posters. And I got it, and I'll never get the opportunity to do that again, probably, because I'm not going to wait a 300-person line. So that's there. That's X-Men 97, and that's another thing YouTube sent me, because they're very nice at YouTube. TikTok doesn't send me shit. YouTube gives me like a little gift every now and then. That's a little pool ball I stole that says Lilo and Stitch on it. That's a figure my grandmother gave me that I think was meant to be, she thought was like an organic, what do you say, like authentic piece of art from some country she went to. I'm pretty sure it's Barbossa from Pirates of the Caribbean. That's an old-timey projector. That's a Lego I built on stream once, and I have to build the rest of it still. And that is a gift from a friend of mine when I worked on Loki. And there you go. And then this is a bunch of movies. And there's your wall tour. Read any Mignola or Hellboy verse comics. I have read the first little bit of Hellboy Volume 1. I have all of Hellboy over there. I'm bad at reading things. You worked on Loki? I was a PA on Loki Season 2. Back in the day. Off the top of your head, after having finished Season 1, how would you rank the Titan members from favorite to least favorite? Raven, Starfire, Cyborg, Robin, Beast Boy. If X-Men Evolution had the opportunity to use Emma Frost after her redemption by Grant Morrison, how would they have done her in the series? I understand, like, to my understanding, what they were going to do is have her as like a cheerleader and like do the rival, like the love arc. And probably, actually, I'm only realizing this now. People don't know this. Emma Frost is the villain, or one of the villains, in the Dark Phoenix saga. And we know that they wanted to do the Phoenix saga, they just never got to it. And I'm curious if they would have found a way to synthesize Emma being the romantic rival for Scott from the Morrison run, and keep her as a chief antagonist in Dark Phoenix. Because I feel like it would have been kind of easy to do in that show. And that's why that show was so goated. They were able to do that kind of shit. I really like the Angel adaptation for Wolverine the X-Men. I do too. I can't lie. I don't really like it, but he's fun. He's better. And he's used so sparingly. Nikhil will return in Avengers Doomsday. Nikhil will not return in Avengers Doomsday. But no, the funny thing to me is I've met Kevin Feige and Lou Esposito many, many, many times in my time as a PA. They don't remember me. I saw them last night again at Wonder Man, and they got no recognition in their eyes. They've met probably 7 million PAs in their time, so it makes a ton of sense. It's just funny to remember all of the conversations I've had with these men. Emma being a cheerleader doesn't feel super right to me. Student council president or something seems more up her alley. Yeah, but like she's blonde and was going to be like the hot girl that Scott liked and that Jean was jealous of. Cheerleader was the only real archetype there. Like Scott wasn't falling for the, Jean would be the student president. Keeping Emma as an antagonist in the Dark Phoenix saga by essentially making her a mean girl sounds amazing. It would have been really interesting. It's really funny they keep Slade's massive hate of Robin without adapting the reason why. I would love to know if the reason why comes before the show. Because I've been told like 4 different reasons that Slade hates Dick in the comics. I'm so scared about Doomsday. I know it'll suck. Oh, it will. It'll suck really bad. Do you like Angel in the first X Factor? No, I find him still boring there. I think he's the most boring one. They had to kill his girlfriend to make him interesting, which is a real desperate move. Any current hyperfixation? Not really. Oh, no, actually, I'm getting way back into Game of Thrones. That was a straight up lie. I've been scrolling through like lore about Game of Thrones pretty obsessively. Chill out. Okay. But I got lunch yesterday with Danny Mata, and we were just chatting, and I was telling him, we were talking about the new show, Right Under the Seven Kingdoms, and I was like, I gotta tell you, I know how all of these fucking people die. Every single one of them, I've already, because his fucking, this dude, Martin, he wrote it all, and he put it in the old show, in the old books, and I read the old books, and I was like, I remember these names, and so you type any name into fucking Google, and it tells you how they die, and I was like, I know them all. I know Dunk and Egg die. I know how the fucking weird Targaryen we had not met yet's gonna die. I know how Lionel Baratheon's gonna die. I know everyone's death. I was like, we could chat, but I know the end of this entire story, and they're not even done writing the novels yet, or novellas. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing. Is I've been reading a bunch of like wiki lore from Game of Thrones. I need to go back and reread the series, and it's upsetting me that I can't remember as much as I wish I had. I listened to it on audiobook when I was working on Loki because I had to drive a lot in that. Just as my like time as a PA, I had to get lunches. I had to like run flash drives to people and shit. I drove so much. I listened to it on Audible, the whole series, and I listened to it on 3 times speed because I was young and crazy. But I need to go back and listen to it again on a more moderate 2 times speed so that I can understand it all and keep it in my head. Colin George R.R. Martin, this dude Martin, is extremely funny. I could not think of his name. What else we got here? Who's the most underrated Bat Family member? Tim! Call me a monster, but I think the ending of EOT is fine. I've seen far worse endings. I think the ending is terrible. I think the last season is better than people let on. I think the first half of the last season is genuinely really good. Up through the Battle of Winterfell. People complain about it being like people complain about it being too dark. I did not have that problem. Maybe my TV was just fine. I don't know. But I think the Battle of Winterfell, up through there, is perfect. I mean, you know how Dunk and Egg died, but only in the most basic sense. You don't really know the details. Yes. But I know how they die, is my point. And, like, you could infer a lot of the journey from that one piece of information, which is why I didn't want to spoil him. Duke is probably the actual most underrated, but I want justice for Tim. Never heard Tim get mentioned as many times in my life as you insisting that Robin is Tim. I'm fighting a fight that literally no one has ever fought, and it's fascinating. I have picked a stance that I don't think anyone, even fans of this show or fans of Tim, have ever tried to make. But you know what? I'm here and I'm doing it. Have you ever read the Bat Family White Knight books? No. Have you seen news that Tim Drake is quitting the role of Robin? I hope that means he goes back to being Red Robin. I want him to get a fucking name that it doesn't have Robin in the title. All right? Let him have his Nightwing moment. Let him graduate. God damn it. This is what I don't like, right? So, like, in the DCU, the new one they're making, Damian Wayne is going to be the first Robin. And that's fine because you can retcon, or not retcon, but you can just say, oh, Dick is already Nightwing, Jason's already Red Hood, or just already dead, and he'll come back as Red Hood later. That's easy. The only one you fuck over is Tim. If Tim was also just a guy, like Nightwing is now, that wouldn't be hard at all. You'd be like, and here's blah, blah, blah. But because he is always Robin adjacent, adding a fucking adjective in front of it doesn't change anything. Naming him after a fast food restaurant doesn't change anything. He's impossible to use. I want to see him. Also, I think he'd be more popular. This goes back to my whole thing with calling Robin Tim, right? Every fucking person who is telling me it's not, or like is telling me how like each one is coded as a different Robin or whatever, is just going, Jokey is Dick because of Nightwing. Angry is Jason because of Red Hood. If Tim had his own thing, people would see his personality more. Right now, his personality is Robin, and then they attribute that personality to Dick. I'm getting way too heated again. Justice for Tim. Are you going to include the Trouble in Tokyo movie in your React series? Yes, as of earlier this live, I learned about it, and now I will. Let's hope Tim doesn't get the codename Drake again. I got that because it's also a bird. And that's funny. It is a little stupid. It's his name. Give him I'm not creative. I don't fucking know what you would call him. But there's gotta be something out there. And I'm not arguing that it doesn't make sense for him in the story. I'm arguing from a promotional standpoint. He would be a easier character to use. Do the X-Men or any other Marvel character have an Elseworld book? Yes. Marvel does What If. They have a lot of alternate universes. The X-Men are in most of them. 1602 by Neil Gaiman. He sucks now, but you know. That one is like them all in the past. The X-Men are called Witchbreed. There's a bunch. There's Age of Apocalypse. That's them specifically. There's Age of Revelation they just did. That's them specifically. There's Days of Future Past. There's a lot. They got a lot of Elseworlds. The X-Men. Why, yeah. There are fans saying he should be the Grey Ghost. Isn't that also a fucking legacy name? Why? And I know the Red Hood is technically a legacy name, but like it's not. You know, like the fact that the Red Hood originally was Joker is a fun fact. Also, when was that? That's the Killing Joke. That's before Jason came back? Okay, never mind. But still, didn't the fandom just give him a caffeine addiction or something as his trait? Yeah, I think that comes from Panda Red. Every now and then, there's a joke that someone will make on TikTok that becomes fandom accurate. I haven't made a ton. There was a character named Morgan Red, who I do love, in X-Men, that I made up an origin story for. And every now and then I do see people quoting my origin story as if it's canon to the character, which is really funny to me. I was in an unrelated Discord once, just chatting with people about comics, and someone was like, oh, actually this guy's got a really fucked up origin, and wrote that whole thing down. And I was like, I made all of that up, personally. I'm sensing you're going to give Tim the same attention as you give Gambit, but more aggressively. It's starting to look like that. I didn't go into the series like such a hardcore Tim fan. I literally just saw, again, the only characterizations about this Robin that are unique are his personality, his outfit, and his weapon choice. And all three denote Tim to me. And so I just called my shot, and everyone got mad. But I've yet to be disproven. And I will accept the disproving. I am a little mad at people be like, oh, you'll know why in season 5. That's not how this fucking shit works. This is linear time, bitches. Welcome to the concept. But other than that, wait, that origin is fanfic? Mind blown. I thought it was from the comics. See, this was my issue. I was not officially clear enough. Do-do-do. You loved him, but yet Robin is second to last on your list. I do think Robin is the least developed of Beast Boy is the least developed of the characters. Robin is right above. The finale does more work with Robin now, so he means more to me now. But I do think, like, Raven's the real star of this show. Starfire is cute. I like her a lot, and I like her episodes, but there have been, like, 5 episodes specifically about Raven. You could tell whoever made this liked Raven the most. There's an episode about, Beast Boy coming to like Raven. There is an episode about Starfire coming to like Raven. The episode that's out on Patreon right now is about Cyborg coming to like Raven. They have to have whole episodes about friendships forming with this one woman. She is the main person, and she has her own spotlight episode. Like, it's so the Raven show. It's insane. They're not bonding with fucking Robin, you know? Most of the Starfire Robin relationship is off screen. Even in this episode at the end when she's like, I would rather die than live in a world where I have to fight you. It's kind of like, sure. That wasn't really the energy before today, though. But, yeah. Everyone gets a whole episode to show how much they fuck with Raven. Beast Boy is unfortunately said to always being the worst Titan in any book, movie, or show. I think if I was a little kid, Beast Boy would be my favorite character. Like, in the same way that when I first watched Phantom Menace when I was 5, Jar Jar Binks was my favorite character, you know? Like, if I was little, he's got a cool power, he's the funny one. That's who he's there to appeal to. As an adult, it's just not up to stuff. I'm sorry. He annoys me. And he's comedic relief, right? Which is like an unfortunate cross to bear. But he does serve almost no real purpose. The most I've liked him is the episode where he befriended Raven and he fought with Garth. And even then, the Garth episode is probably the weakest episode of the show so far. So it's like, I'll be honest, as a kid, Robin was my favorite. He was just so cool. I don't know what to say. I mean, that's the other one you're supposed to, like, this finale is about making Robin look cool. My wife's, I do agree with whoever this is that all Robins are detectives. I do think that's true. I think it's a little funny that Tim's like thing is detective, but I think Tim, honestly, he's just serious. Like, if I had to like lay it down, that would be like the archetype I gave him. And that's why I think this is a very intense and serious Robin, except in the fact that he fucking loves beating people up. I get into this more in the Patreon episode, but like, this Robin weirdly, huge smile on his face, Joker-esque smile on his face when he's punching bitches. He loves to fight. And that's kind of giving me Tim more too. Because like you said, Tim's thing is being in a golden cradle, but still wanting to fight bitches. This Robin from this show seems like a kid who would find Batman or find Robin and be like, hey, you gotta go be Robin again. That energy fits. The funny thing with Raven being so central is comic accurate. She's actually the one who created the iconic Titans team and was essentially the main focus for the entirety of the early Wolfman stories. Oh, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why there's so much focus on Raven, if she's like the Storm of this team. That's fascinating. I love me some Dick Grayson, but it's so funny how Dick in the TV show is an amalgamation of all the Robins, especially Tim. Amalgamations, one word. Joker smile. It's Tim post getting Joker at the Batman Beyond movie, calling my shot. This is what I love to see. If I have any impact on this world, it's kind of like the tentacles joke. I don't know how many people have followed me for long enough to remember the tentacles joke, but I had a thing in my skits for a while where as something I get asked a lot, or because when I tell people I'm Indian, there's usually some stupid response that's like, why don't you wear a dot on your head or something, of people trying in good faith to be like, oh, I didn't notice you were Indian, but then it's because of some stupid ass reason. And I had a similar thing in my skits for a while when people said they were mutants, of people like, oh, don't mutants have tentacles or something? And I thought that specific use of the tentacle bit was enough to me that when I saw other creators using it as a microaggression, I was like, I did that. That's an impact I've had. But not like mutants having tentacles. That is the thing. That's where the joke comes from. But as a microaggression. But anyway, this Tim thing is similar. If I ever see a fucking person argue that this Robin in good faith is Tim Drake, I'm taking the credit. Because I'm out here in the trenches and ain't nobody on my side. How do people not know your name is Nikhil? Here's the other fun fact. A lot of people don't know that. A shocking amount of people think my name is Nicholas Hill. And that Nikhil is a fucking usernameification. It's me shortening my name to be a social media handle. I get so many things addressed to Nicholas Hill. What do they think Clayton is? I don't know. A lot of people also just call me Clayton, as if Nikhil is a fun little gibberish word, and then my actual name at the end is Clayton. Racism, even non-malicious, goes deep, my friends. Why did the X-Men films never get to do Mr. Sinister? They got very close. He was cast and everything. As an Indian girl in a very red small town, I got asked why I didn't have a teepee. See? Live in a teepee. I get asked that too. A lot of people get the Indians fucked up. And then they're like, oh, why don't you have a buffalo skin jacket? That was a real thing. A camp counselor might ask me once. Oh no, actually, what he asked me was whether or not I thought he would look good in a buffalo skin jacket. Crazy. Texas, weird place, guys. But, yeah, the most bottom issue with that, I think, is that he got the Indians wrong. Clayton could mean you're a fan of the Tarzan books. Truth. It doesn't. My last name is Clayton, but who's gonna play him? What's his name? The guy from Mad Men, John Hamm, which I think is genuinely great casting. I think he's a perfect pick for Sinister. Will you watch the Lost Teen Titans episode? If you explain what that is. I work as an interpreter, and the amount of people who have asked me why I don't sound Mexican when speaking Spanish is hilarious. My God. Oh, this country. Lovely, lovely. I did not know Nikhil is a real name. See? No offense to you, but see. No, people definitely think I got the Clayton from being my name. People think my first name is Clayton. I got a lot of DMs calling me Clayton. Honestly, I didn't realize you were Indian until I read your name a while back, and I'm Indian, bro. No, that's fine. I don't look Indian. This whole rant is someone asked, how do they not know based on your name? And I'm telling you that they don't think that's my name. However, yes, I am aware that I'm biracial. I know. What are your thoughts on Jaro as Robin? It's fine. I don't mind a bit, ever. A little meme character. I got Dupe right over there. I then got told by my teacher that I shouldn't be offended by the person saying that she thought I lived in a teepee. It's a wild world. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Nikhil is very pretty, but to be completely honest, Clayton is ruining the vibe. Listen, I know, okay? It is what it is. I could be an Erlon. That's my fiance's last name. If we flipped it around and I took hers instead. We'll do a quick poll. I'll let her know the results. How does Nikhil Erlon sound to everyone? Original Jinx was, I think. Yes, I've been told Jinx was supposed to be Indian as well. I just kind of accepted that Nikhil was your name. I didn't realize I was going over so many people's heads. You would think. Dick was the one Dick was the one who was a crash out. There's a reason he was the one who left Bruce and couldn't agree with him. Dick's also like, I feel like the single line in this episode about I already have a father is the most it's ever been Dick. Because Dick is like the one I most associate with having a troublesome relationship with Bruce that is fatherly. Like, Jason obviously has his issues with Bruce, but that's very like, you let me down, I died, you didn't kill the guy who killed me. Like, that's all like one grievance. The like sin, like the issue of being like, I am the son of Batman, and the weight of that, I associate the most with Dick. So that one line was the most I've ever been like, okay, well, that's not Tim. But, whatever. Nikhil seems at least straightforward to pronounce. My name just gets entirely destroyed by the mouse of English speakers. That makes a lot of sense. Nikhil is like, it's an objectively easy name. And also, Nick has always been available, and no one's ever taken it in my life. Like, my whole family calls me Nick. School? Never. They could not get across it. I've also been told I pronounced my own name wrong, which is like not my fault. Take it up with my parents and grandmother. They all said that this was how my name was pronounced. But I have been informed that I pronounced my name wrong in terms of like the actual Indian language. My apologies. Tim is the chillest of them all with Bruce. He even took his last name once. Exactly. Did you see the Invincible Season 4 trailer? I did not. As much as the fandom likes to see them all as Bruce's kids, Dick and Damien are the only ones who ever really see themselves that way. Both Tim and Jason saw themselves as just partners. Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, yeah, I think Jason is very Bucky Barnes. Like, I don't think Bucky saw himself as Cap's kid either, but like his beef with Bruce is very specifically tied around that one piece of trauma. But like Dick is his kid. Dick is Batman's son and has like the insecurity and the crisis that would give a person. Tim, like, I don't think he cares that much. And it's like weird to say that, but I think it's true. Tim also, like, notably, he would agree with me because his introduction to the comics is going to find Dick and telling him that Batman can't be Batman without him. And then Dick's response is, then you do it, fucker. And so that's why Tim's around. But, like, if Tim had gotten his initial way, we would have just had Robin still be Robin. Also, Cassie is Daddy's little princess, and whoever tells you otherwise is a liar. I have heard a lot of love for Cass. I've never read, like, I've absorbed most cast content from the fucking webtoon and fandom. But I have heard that as... Was Angela Roth not Jewish? Roth is who's Angela Roth? What are we talking about now? Is that Drake's real mom's name? Who's in? This name sounds so familiar. I'm gonna feel dumb when I Google it. Angela Roth. Arella? What? Oh! She's Raven? I've actually never thought in my whole life what Raven's real name is. No, Raven's real name's Rachel, right? Because I think that's terrible. But she's Rachel Roth. So this is her mother. Oh. By the way, I think her... Raven's real name being Rachel is one of the stupidest decisions ever. How do you give that character the real name Rachel? Fun fact, Tim was created by Marv Wolfman because he didn't want Dick to return as Robin after Jason's death. Yes. That's why that story plays out like that. That is why it's very meta-textual to be like, no, actually, I can't go back as Robin. I've moved on. Who is more Riz, Nightwing or Gambit? Gambit. Gambit has so much Riz that people think it's a superpower. It was, but now it's been slowly phased out, and I like to believe that it was always just normal charisma. Because mind control is iffy, and I don't like thinking about it. But I like the idea that he was just so charismatic that people thought he had that power. What's your thought on the names Blackagar Boltigan? Stupid as hell. It's dumb, but like he's a dumb character, so I don't mind, if that makes sense. It is hard to take seriously, though. Pretty sure Raven Rachel is one of those names that changes based on the universe you were in. I mean, like, yes, like everything, I guess, but it is the canon name, to my understanding. It just comes later. It's kind of like Rogue, is the way I've been told. It's like how Rogue wasn't Anna Marie until the movies. In the movies named her Marie, in the comics named her Anna Marie because the actress's name was Anna Paquin. And so then they just merged two names, which is the dumbest decision. I wish that she was just Marie, or just Anna. But she's Anna Marie because of that. And then it's like, yes, there are other universes where she wasn't named Anna Marie because they hadn't thought of it yet for the main universe, you know? And I imagine Raven's a similar deal, where she is Rachel, and probably everything after keeps her name as Rachel, but everything before, they didn't know what her name was. I knew Nikhil in high school, and he pronounced his name same as you. Yes! Good to know! Yeah, Jeff Johns came up with the name Rachel in 2003. Terrible. Also, the fact that it wasn't the original name, like, you had the fully formed character of Raven, and you were like, Rachel. Ridiculous. Call her anything else, even like a Susan. I would be like, I guess you could be Susan. Rachel is absurd. To be fair, a lot of comic names have weird names. Like, the amount of alternative names, especially in the past, is absurd. I disagree. I think a lot of character names fit them well. Like, it's not a Blackagar Boltigan situation, you know? Like, the connotation of the name Rachel does not fit up with the personality you've created for Raven. And it might be realistic, but it doesn't. Like, when creating a character, the name should tell you something about the character. And she does not give Rachel in any way. Blackagar Boltigan gives overly serious sci-fi guy. And that is what Black Bolt is. Raven has been a Native American woman, named Raven, but that's Earth 1, and main continuity is Prime Earth, where she's been Rachel Ross since 2003. Interesting. I knew you meant alliterative. Don't worry. Like, Bruce, Batman feels like a Bruce. Even Robin, or like Nightwing, feels like a Dick, you know? Haha. Jason feels like a Jason. Damian feels like a Damian. Damian's also, I think, a joke about the Omen. Yeah. Actually, that's the first time I had that thought, but that's definitely true, right? That's a the Omen joke. But anyway. But yeah, Rachel. Because you know the difference is, in real life, you pick a name for a baby that has no personality whatsoever because it's a baby and it's been born for 2 minutes. In comic life, you know the character. If you could name kids when they're like 15, no one would have the names they have. They'd have better names. And we have that for fictional characters. Gar works great for Beast Boy. I don't know. Coriander's also dumb, but Cory works for Starfire. And that's the main important bit. The fact that it's Coriander with someone having a laugh. There's a lot of that. Star-Lord's dad always cracks me up because his name's Jason, but they took the A out and put an apostrophe, so it was spacey. So his name is Jason, I guess, but it's Jason. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do. The fact that Beast Boy's primary animal form isn't turning into a green tabby cat is a sin. Come on, Garfield. I'd imagine he doesn't want to turn into a cat for this specific reason. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Does Victor fit Cyborg? Absolutely. Oh, here's another one that's dumb. A Knoll from X-Men is Victor? Crazy. Like, Sabretooth is Victor. That logical. A Knoll? Also, to be fair, Raven was a goth into the 2003 cartoon. Originally, she was actually a much brighter character, so Arsene and Starfire tended to be the moody ones. Alright, well, that could change my whole rant. Maybe I'm speaking out of my ass. Maybe she was a Rachel. I mean, the Purple Man's real name is Zebediah Kilgrave. Yeah, and that slaps, and it fits him great. I think the idea is that her human name Rachel works because it feels like it doesn't fit. I feel like her being a kind of uncomfortable middle is her thing. That's a very good and competent take, but it makes me seem more foolish. So shut up. No, that's a good point though. I get that. All right. Beast Boy telling everybody his name is Beast Boy so they don't make Garfield jokes. Exactly. Kilgrave is such a good name. Like, I don't know why we got to a place of Jessica Jones. But Kilgrave is such a good name for the Purple Man that it works as a supervillain name. Helps that the word kill is in it. But, like, they don't call him the Purple Man really once in that show. He's also not purple. That was my one, like, beef with that show. I love that show. Especially that first season. The best thing in the Netflix lineup. But he's not purple. Like, I don't need him to be always purple. I get we were going for, like, a realism beat. But, like, one scene? Anything? A weird light? There's, I think, one scene, actually, where they do weird lighting to make him look kind of purple. But, like, commit. Give me the Purple Man in any capacity. Steve Rogers is such a Steve Rogers. That he is. He's such a Steven. It's crazy. It's also why I don't like Bruce Banner going by David. That was from his old TV show. And now, like, it's canon that his name is David Bruce Banner. David's stupid. He's a Bruce. Slade is such a good first name that it works as a supervillain name. Well, Slade is a fake-ass name. Like, Slade Wilson is, like, a name you give an edgy mercenary in a book. And so it works, yes, as the edgy mercenary in this show. Slade is like, no baby is named Slade, you know? That sounds like a nickname already. It sounds like a villain name. My biggest gripe with all the Netflix shows is them being scared of being slightly silly. Luke Cage doesn't wear a yellow shirt for most of the show, from what I've heard. Luke Cage is different, and I think it's fine. He does wear a yellow shirt. Like, he does. He wears the classic outfit. Actually, he wears even, like, the power headband and stuff for one episode. But he is constantly in a yellow shirt in Jessica Jones. In his own show, they put him in the hoodie because of Michael Brown. And the whole thing is that he's a giant black man wearing a hoodie riddled with bullet holes. And I think, at the end of the day, pettiness aside, art is supposed to mean something, and that meant something. And so I can't really harsh him for that. You know? Like, they made a statement. And I think, at the end of the day, especially a character like Luke Cage should have a statement. This might be the most chronically online sentence I've ever seen, and I mean it with high respect. I've hit a point. Where is this coming out? Did it get taken down? Oh, but it was something like, I hit a point with most fictional media where I'm afraid my favorite Glub Shido will get surf Dracula'd. I don't even know what that means. What is surf Dracula? I know Glub Shido. Would you react to Teen Titans Go? I think it will be funny. I will not. I don't think there's enough meat in Teen Titans Go. I'll maybe do the movie. I don't think there's enough stuff in Teen Go to react to be honest. What vintage comic issue would you like to collect? Anything from the Claremont run, I love to get. The one I really want is Arcade Expo 266 with Gambit's arrival. I do not have that, sadly. I was sure Bruce Banner's first name was Robert. In the 90s cartoon, his name was Robert Bruce Banner. I think they recalled Bruce's father to be David Banner. Oh, did I get it wrong? Is it Robert? That's still dumb. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think his dad is David Banner. My apologies. But still, dumb. Teen Titans Go to the movies or Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go? Ooh, I forgot they did like a crossover with these Teen Titans. Maybe both. Surf Dracula is a tweet about a show rolling out iconic characters. What? Surf Dracula basically means taking an entire series or film to have the... Oh, yes! Yes. Oh, I did see this tweet. That was like, in a show these days would be called Surf Dracula and he wouldn't touch a surfboard until episode 5. I did see that. Right. Okay. Alright. Also, it has been... Oh my god, it's been an hour and a half? Fuck, I looked down 10 seconds ago and it was 20... And it only been 40 minutes. I wasted so much time. I gotta go film. But there's also 200 people here, and it's been very nice chatting with you guys. I love doing these lives. It's been a wonderful time. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you soon.